So welcome to this MMO called Shin Megami Tensei. The MMO which is 10 years old already. And that has been revitalized by some private servers. This one in specific is Reimagine, and it is where we'll be doing the guide. Without further ado, let's create the character. I have to pick the server, which is Cerberus. In the creation, you have some options, like the name. You can pick the sex, which is basically gender, the model, how tall you want it to be, the face, you can approach to see the faces, the hairstyles, the weapon. In this case, if you're going to go for melee, the best weapon to go is the battle hammer. The others are useful, for example, the attack knife is more useful for mages, but in general the battle hammer is what you want for melee. In my case, since I'm going to do a gunner, it won't really matter. You can pick the top. And pick the bottom. Pick the shoes. You can pick your comp. It'll appear on your left wrist. You can also pick the hair color. And the eye color. The only thing here that might actually change something in the game is the height because of the animations. Everything else can pretty much be customized, but we'll see that on a later video. So I have created the character and I'm going to start the game with it. This game has cutscenes, but we're going to rush over them, since this is not what we are here for today. This game also has a tutorial that I recommend you see on your own time, just as the cutscenes. But for now we're going to skip it. Our basic element decisions, which will matter later on, but not so much for now. Give you some levels because you're skipping the tutorial. All you have to do is just run to this door. The next cutscene, which you can watch on your own. And you'll be at this place, which is called Home Tree. Home Tree, you can talk with Snake Man. Continue with your missions. Give you Act 1, in which you need to find the leader of the Pixies in the Home Tree area and contract. For that you just talk with this Demon Buster. They'd like to know, pretty much teaching you that if you grit, you can contract demons. It's pretty much with any gritting action or taunt or threaten. And if you are successful enough, it will turn into a hag, and you'll be able to contract it and placing it on your comp. And they'll pretty much give you the first one for free. All you have to do is just pick greeting. It will turn into the egg. It will be automatically added to your demon list. To progress with the mission, you just need to come to the demon list, summon your leader pixie, and talk with him again. Talk to Snakeman. You have the option to either relinquish the pixie leader or only hand over the skills. You can do either. It's up to you pretty much. It won't affect that much in the end. To progress with the mission, the only difference in the choices that you get to keep the pixie over some item will be much important in the future. Continue the mission, you talk with Snakeman. He'll give you the wounded Cerberus back, give you some more levels. You talk with Snakeman again. Talk about work, main story. This option always means you're progressing. I'll give you some items and tell you to talk with the Master of Shadows. But before we do, we talk with this father figure guard. Ask for more. He'll teach you about the map. Ask for more. You'll be prompted to visit the Cathedral of Shadows, the same place Snakeman is sending you. So to progress, you talk with the Master of the Cathedral of Shadows. Pretty much teach you about Demon Fusion. Just something we'll see later. Talk with him again. He'll give you the choice of a demon belonging to a certain alignment, and you can pick each one of those. But the one that's best for starting the game, it's the law one. So we're going to go with that. You talk with him again. Talk about work. You talk about dungeon inspections. He'll tell you to collect 5 shards from a dungeon, and we'll get to it in some time. What else? Since we're here, talk with the demon researcher. Listen to what it has to say. We'll accept these items, and what it gives us are DCMs. These are things you can actually use to record your demons, and it will be later. It will be something that will be useful later. And the way to register your demon is pretty much having it summoned, since I have the Kodama summoned, and using the Kodama DCM. In this case it won't work because I already registered this demon on another character. It's pretty easy to work and you get the gist of it. It will also be important for other quests. Right now you go back to the guard. And you talk with him again. You get the important letter, which you want to deliver to another NPC. While we are going there, we can already talk with the guard, ask about work, accept. I'll pretty much give you another mission. You talk with On Point Girl. She'll teach you about home points. You can set your home point right here. Your home point is set. Tell her that she did. She'll give you Triasto stuns, which will be useful in the future. And show a cutscene. Teleport you to the beginner area. Here in the beginner area you want to talk with the NPC on the right, talk about work, and talk about hunting quests. It will give you a quest to hunt a demon. And it will give you a machete as well. Other thing you actually want to do here, almost forgetting, is talk with her again. Ask for advice. Tips for battle. You'll accept this mission called the Surely Gunfighter. This one is important if you're going for guns, but it's not mandatory either, because you'll just talk with TBK, you know? You ask about work again. He'll tell you to talk with Akamada at the weapon shop, which is right here. Instead of asking about work, you talk. You ask about using guns. I actually forgot what's talking. But using guns the second time. You can already talk about gun knowledge, but it will only be useful in the future. Right, now that we're done here, I wanted to show you something. This is basically the place where you'll store your demons. That servers will be useful. It's also the place where you store your items. As a disclaimer, I'll be using this Orb of Speed to speed up my movement as much as possible. This is an item that will also be available in the future, but I'll talk about it at another time. Here what you want to do is go to the virtual girl, start virtual battle. Here you can talk with Snake Man. Do. It's pretty much teaching you about the movement, about counter, about guard, all that stuff that you'll need later in the game. Teaching you how attack works. You'll have to kill 5 slimes. You can see your skill commands here. Just drag guard to the bar, wherever you want to place it. You just press the button to attack the slimes. The way block works is that you'll be here for a time, and if the slime attacks you, you'll block immediately. Just keep attacking until you get the 5 slimes. Once you're done, you talk with Snake Man. Proceed to the next area. Talk with Snake Man again. We'll teach you about cards. Now to kill 3 Gakis. They just attack them. Since these ones will retaliate, you'll have to block. When they attack you, you just keep attacking. You move on to the next target. Block in their direction. Now do the critical, so it makes it easier. You just talk with Snake Man again. Teach you about points, which you pretty much already have available. Up with Snake Man again. Teach you about Rush, which is a move that beats guards, but it's also weak to counter. I have to use Rush to attack these Will-O-Wisps and collect cards. Collect items is just clicking on the enemy once it's down. The symbol will appear showing you that you have loot, and you just collect the items. Since this one is guarding, we'll have to use Rush to go through their guards. Makes that sound, which means you crush their guard, and you just keep moving on until you get the 3 cards and deliver them to Snake Man again. He'll give you more stuff, give you another level. Keep talking with him, and he'll explain expertise. And expertise is how you get really powerful in this game, because with expertise comes extra skills that you can place on your hotbar. Just keep talking with him and place the Agi later. The way expertise works in this game is that you have to unlock it. Now I'm just going to teach the skill belonging to that expertise he talked about, which is Destruction Magic. I have to click it here, and it will show up on your skills, and you drag it to your hotbar. And you can pretty much see here all the expertises you have available. The way I recommend you place your expertise is basically going at the wiki and seeing what you want, or in other ways, following a guide that already has what you're supposed to go for. Just talk with Snake again. He'll explain that these things grow with time. I'm going to be a gunner, but I don't need to know about it since I already know it. Once you've passed all the training, you'll be teleported back here again. So, since I'm going to be a gunner, the expertises I really want to unlock are Shot, and the gun knowledge. The rest will come with time. So for the next topic, we're going to return to the beginner area. Summon a demon if you want. You'll talk with Rika again, ask for advice and tips for control. Tell you to talk with another NPC. But before you do that, you can enter the pharmacy and pick another quest by asking for mixology. I will explain you how mixology works, which is basically the item mixing screen. You'll just go to inventory, press item mix, and double click the items you want to join, and press execute. You'll have the result. You can talk with I again. That's another quest completed. Right here you can talk with Farmer DB cards. You'll complete another quest. Talk about work, talk about the remains of Tokyo. You'll just have to find the DB you already talked with, and also ask about the pixies. Undertake the mission. Basically, you go outside, talk with the friendly demon buster, talk about work. He'll give you the cans, the other DB wants. You can also go here and ask for something else. You can ask for demon fusion. It will teach you a cool skill you can pretty much use later on. That picks one of your demons and creates a really strong attack. If you unlock it, just go to transfer skill code and you'll have the Cerberus already available. About work again, talk about the remains of Tokyo. Tell you to talk with DB Arumi. Before we do that, we actually want to go outside and kill some pixies. This is where you'll pick your weapon of choice, and since it's a gun, I'll also need to change my skills. So I need to equip my bullets. I'll need to equip shot, rapid. For now, I'll already equipped dodge. We won't need Agi, since our character's demon already has Agi with it. You can also care for your demon. And right now the mission is to kill the pixies. You can collect loot from them. In this case we are lucky and got a ring, which further increases your defenses. Also usually get resources. But the thing you really want here is to contract a Kodama. For that you'll first have to find it. While you're here you can already use these items or interact with its balls of energy, which will be useful in the future. What you want to do from here is actually contract Lost Wapu. Obviously, we weren't successful the first time, so you have to keep on trying. You can use your gums to regenerate your mana. Interact the Wapu. You also want to contract the Kodam. Remember to keep recovering MP. Weren't successful at the first time, so we have to keep on trying. There's another one. Our Ether will actually try to attack it, but you don't want that to happen. You can just adjust or review your settings. And to find another. You can see there's a lot of them here. And we finally got one. So the thing you want to do instantly as you get the Kodama is summon it. And use it while you kill the pixies. Might need to kill a few more pixies than necessary, but it's going to be worth it anyways. One more, I think. Still need one more. What this has done is that it leveled up your Kodama. And since it leveled up, it acquired a skill called the... this is a basic killing skill that will be useful. talk with the former DB guards about the pixies. You talk with the DB guards about Kodamas. Okay. You can also do, while you're at it, is that you can invest your points in your desired attributes. Since I'm a gunner, I'm going for speed and luck. If you're a melee, you really want strength, a bit of luck. If you're a mage, you want magic, with a bit of luck as well. Intellect is for basically support classes. Other thing we can show, since we are here already, is that we can fuse the Kodama and the Wapua to create an Earthies. And this demon will be useful in the future, and you can already start farming it as you progress. So you want to do is summon it. Will be available, and you can see he has the skills Dia and Agi available to inherit. That is because we actually farmed Dia and the skill transferred from the Kodama to the Earthies, and Wapu already had Agi. So we basically have a demon with healing abilities, a fire abilities, and electric abilities, which is really good. And all the stuff we won't need. You can use this on the Earthies, and it will increase the gods to inherit the skill Dia. And you can pretty much go outside again. Now it will be the time to talk with the pixie. You can do it anytime you have the demonic companion unlocked. It will ask you to find an experienced Jack Frost. You can open your map by clicking here. This is the time where you want to face this demon right here. Also want to have your magic stones ready. What your Artius will do is basically attack it. What you want to do is just avenue attack him until he gets attacked with the fire skill. And since he got attacked by a fire skill, it means he has advanced in the inheritance of Agi, and he now has Agi available. How do you make use of the skill? You just drag it, and it will be available on the hotbar. This skill will be useful to kill the Kodamas. You can pretty much heal him with magic stones and move on to killing the Kodamas. With enough luck, you'll land crits and you'll kill them in no time. There's also a cave sit over here, you can already attack. Pretty much two-shot it. This is where you find the inexperienced Jack Frosts while you're at it, so you can also kill the inexperienced Sorteds. Let's take care of one of the quests. You can try to contract the inexperienced Jack Frosts. This little fellow will actually be useful for 2 missions. He doesn't want to contract. So I have to be wary of the other Jack Frosts. This also might be a good thing, because he'll come straight at us. At it, we can just heal. An effort to contract him. It's another demon for the list. Pretty much would use his DCM. He is already registered. For some reason it's saying that, but it's not true. Forget to kill the Kodamas on the way. Talk with the pixie. She'll give you more stuff. So complete another mission. Is the Arthas one. You want to talk about work and you want to report about the request. We'll give you more levels or more XP. You want to talk about work again and you want to talk about negotiation quests. Tell you to find the Wanderer Nozuchi, which we'll get to right away. And since it's evening, you will actually want to go to this point in the map. You want to get there as quick as you can. I have to be careful with things that are higher level than you, as usual. Since you're here, you also want to talk with the hardworking Agi. Talk to him. Accept quest. Careful with the red things again. And see, this is the zone where the Wanderer Nozuchis are. You have to be wary that they only appear at night. You'll actually want two of them. Search for them, you can also kill more Kodamas. There's another one right there. Remember to use your items. Want to set the behavior of your Earthids. Supposed to be another Wanderer Nozuchi here. I'm not sure where it is at the moment. There it is. We got one, but we need another one. And there's the second one. While we're here, we can also take the chance to kill the Kodamas, since there are several here. Alright, now that you kill the Kodamas, you can just use the Trieste Stone to return to Home Tree. Quit the guard, put the Kodamas again. About work. Just end the conversation. Also summon the Wanderer Nozuchi. Trick about work again, report about the requests. Give us more stuff. Talk about work again, talk about negotiation quests. You'll have to contract an inexperienced guard. Since we won't need them for now, we can just place Wanderer Nozuchi, the inexperienced Jack Frost here, and also do the same with your previous demon. And since we are here, there's also 2 quests you can do here, but it requires other person to do these quests. Basically ask about party. And you ask about something else, which is going to be the trade. Okay. You're going to ask about the trade again. They're going to give you a trade ticket A. What you have to do is actually trade with someone who has a ticket other than A, and you can also take the chance to add them to the party. You're going to talk the character right here, invite her to party. And we're going to perform a trade. Just send the trade request, the other person accepts it, and you'll have to trade a ticket other than A. Going to be E. Talk about trade again. You'll receive more levels. Place your attributes. And since the other person is on the party, you'll want to ask about the party again. You'll be teleported to another area, which the person can join. Here you'll talk with the experienced demon buster again. Summon the demon you want to level. In this case it's still going to be Earthit. And you'll have to fight these mobs. Easy because we can pretty much one-shot them now. Hito! This one is going to be the hard one of the bunch. If you get him close to wall, you can pretty much deal a lot of damage to it. Problem is if you run out of bullets, which I just did. In that case, you can just use your demon. Don't forget to heal it. And there you go. Whenever you finish a dungeon, you can pick up one of these boxes. And you'll just need to talk with the experienced demon buster again. Talk with her again about party. You'll complete another quest. Buy bullets, you just go to any weapon shop. Select the buy option, and there will be a tab for gunners, which you'll have 2 bullet types at least. In this case, we're going to take the light bullets. And we're going to take a bunch of them. It's from Steven again. Press download in this case for the next things you want to pick egg. So this is pretty much one of the dailies on the game, which is pretty much a minion gauntlet, which you'll face versions of enemies you'll probably already have seen before. What's good about this system is that they actually drop a lot of Maka and Magnetites, which are basically the currency in this game. Another good thing is that they also give a lot of XP. So you'll notice that Earthies just learned a skill called Rakukaja. This is actually one of the skills you want to have on Earthies, because it actually adds support to him. So basically right now, you have a demon that's able to support you. Just not able to heal you yet. But you can see he's doing something. And what that skill actually does is increase your defense. And you can see I'm only receiving 1 damage from the mob, since that skill is so strong. And pretty much any support skill in this game is that strong. So you're all recommended to use them. Forget to build your Earths or any demon you have. After this you can move on to the next floor. Cave sits. Unfortunately these do not count towards the quests. And see, they also give a lot of XP. So you just keep shooting them till you're done. As you can see, you level up quite fast here. Humans keep learning new skills, which is also good. And at the end of every 2 floors, you'll reach a 3rd one that contains the boss. The thing you're looking for in this area is just behind this boss. Which is this reward box, and it can contain lots of items that will be useful for you in the future. It just contains a cracked gem, but it will be worthwhile in the future. So you got a lot of more points, you can just assign them. And we can move on to our next quest. Which will be find a unique experience card. Now for this one it's important that you have your buffs up, because the Karm can actually deal a lot of damage if you're unprepared. But if you have some kind of physical buff, you should be out of the woods for that. See, only deals 1 damage. And there you go. Inexperienced card obtained. Can actually keep going. Actually going this way since we want to collect more of those remains. In total you want to have 10 t-shirts. That's when you know that you can stop. We'll pretty much want to talk with this card. You want to talk with DB Arumi. Ask about plasma. She'll tell you to collect those plasmas. You pretty much need 10 wrinkled t-shirts. You can already enter this garage to check on another mission. She's DB Oki. To ask you for magnetites, but since it's a small amount, you can just give it to him. Tell you to report back to the guard, but before you do that, you have to take care of these Jack Frosts. Actually, since we're here, you can also accept missions from these cards. Cave sets on Mandrakis. And gooses. Just keep dealing with the Jack Frosts as you can. to be careful with those rushes. Just be sure to keep your distance and nothing should harm you. Since we completed those quests, you can use a Triasto Stone to go back. And you'll want to summon your inexperienced Garm. Rika, report about the requests. Talk about work again. You want now a fusion quest. Will tell you to fuse Wanderer Nozuchi and Experience Karm. Luckily you already have both of those. Since you're here already, you can talk with this other one about Maka and Magnetites. By this point you should already have more than enough Maka and Magnetites. If you don't, you can just accept the Magnetites mission. Give her the Magnetite she needs. She'll give you 5,000, which will be half of what you need. Talk with her about Maka again, and you have completed both quests. After this, want to talk to Master of Cathedral of Shadows, fuse those two. We'll return the Wanderer Elp, which you'll give to the girl in the beginning area. Another thing you can also do now, since you're above level 10, is go to Snakeman again. And report about recent conditions. This will get you a Brave Garm. And this Brave Garm is really useful, especially for gunners. I would actually recommend the Urfids if you're a melee. But if you're a gunner, the Brave Garm is way more useful, because it has several buffs, not just defense ones. So you'll summon Wanderer Elp. You'll talk with Rika again. Talk about work, report about the request. And you'll want to seek another fusion request. Now you'll need to find an inexperienced Kate Sit. Use with the Wanderer Nozuchi you already have. You'll also want to ask for work and find other jobs. It will give you supplies to deliver somewhere else. We'll get to in a second. You can already summon your Brave Garm. As you can see, it has the buffs. You can set the behavior. can pick the order of your abilities. And you can already store your Wonder Help. Wrong button. And while we're here, we must also not forget to talk with the guard again. The Master of the Cathedral of Shadows. Talk about work, talk about Dibioki. And you're going to be sent back to Dibioki. Quite a few quests already. So what you want to do now is basically get those t-shirts. You're missing 2 of them. One more. And we're done here. I actually want to cross the bridge and find that inexperienced gate set. Can already start dealing with the Kusits while we're here. Actually summon the Earthies while we're dealing with these guys. Got the inexperienced kid set. So what you want to do is go at this entrance right here and talk with this guard about the supplies, talk about work, for a job, this option, and you'll receive supplies to take to home tree camp. You can also accept the other missions, which involve hunting a giant garm. Actually 5 of them. A beast Nekomata. Earth element Sudama. Divine Angel. and Raptor on Monraki. Now these are all enemies you'll find inside the dungeon, one way or another. Don't want to do the dungeon just yet. So always assign your points. While you're going here, you want to look for another DB, which is going to be the Davster Demon Buster. You want to ask about dodge. If they teach you how to dodge, it dodges all shot abilities, so anything that's long range. So it's useful even as a gunner, because something might target you. They'll tell you to place the dodge skill first, but you already placed it, so ask about dodge again. They'll tell you to defeat 5 Kissy Pixies, which are right there. Can talk to the Davster Demon Buster again. Ask about dodge. You'll have completed the mission. While you're on the way, if you want, you can also already kill the cave sets. With regard to complete the quests of the Jack Frosts, you talk with this card right here about the supplies, give you a bunch of XP. Talk to the Arumi about plasma to complete the other quests. you're going to want to talk about deconstructing. How to deconstruct. She'll give you a fuel tank. You can deconstruct empty can simply by clicking the material you want. And deconstruct the material, clicking the material you want to deconstruct, and disassembling it basically. Talk to the DB Arumi again about deconstructing, and you'll have the quest completed. And one thing of note, actually, in this server, since you did this running around of the remains of Tokyo and collecting those light bulbs, what you'll receive in return for going back and forth between that card and DB Arumi is the material tank. And the material tank in this server in specific is really useful because you can just double click certain items in your inventory and they'll be stored in the material tank. There's a long list of items that can be stored here. Double teardrop gold, loot teardrop gold, and all that kind of stuff. And everything that gets highlighted when you keep one of those can be stored in the material tank. And still keep deconstructing everything you want to deconstruct. In this case, I'm going to deconstruct the t-shirts, since I won't need them anymore. We're also going to check on DB Oki. Skip the cutscene right away. Be sure to have your points assigned before you enter here, because it's going to be a battle. You're going to face a deformed Gaki. Fortunately, he is weak to almost everything you have, so it's a quick battle. Just leave. Since we're done here, you can just report back to the guard. Try us to stone to go there. You can talk with former TV guard again for an extra mission if you talk about work and the remains of Tokyo. Tell you to collect stuff you already have. Want to keep checking your missions. Since we already have the inexperienced kit set, can pull out the Nozuchi. You can just fuse them together. Okay, that's Shikigami. Exactly what you want for the next mission. You'll have to deliver it to the beginner girl area. The beginner area to the girl. to summon the Shikigami. About work, report about the request. And the next mission we want to take is hunting quests, if I remember. To defeat the Nekomata. Expert opinion and mystery. About work. Give you more XP and small rewards. And by this point you should be ready for your first engine. While we go there, we can just do some more cool safes on the way. One thing that's actually worthwhile at this point is actually negotiating with the Kusif. And try to get one to your sides. To be wary of other mobs though. This item for now will be useful. Increase the affinity of your Earthies with Dia. Can also give him more magic stones. Should be learning Dia soon. Another quick way of doing this is just having your demon be healed by someone else. Just keep trying and you'll eventually get it. You might actually want another one. find any here. And there we go. The hunt is finished. I can go to the dungeon. I'm just going to force him to learn the ability. You can see it's increasing, but really slowly. There we go. This will be useful for later. So this is the first dungeon of the game. It's called Suginami Tunnels. And how do you enter a dungeon exactly? First thing first, you'll have to have enough space in your inventory because you're going to need it. You are going to use this plate right here. For this dungeon specifically, I'll summon my Garm and take the chance to level him. So what you want to do is just click this tablet. In this case it's going to be a normal run. The other things come later, and you're going to select the difficulty corresponding to your plate. In this case it's bronze. As soon as the dungeon starts, you can see that there are enemies and you need to defeat those enemies. You are free to do it in any way you like. Some might even count towards your quests. See, everything here is pretty much weak against bullets. The mechanic of this dungeon is that you get these pieces called glittering ores, and they'll be useful for summoning doors or opening doors. Show you how in a hot second. This is also one of the enemies that will be a pain to deal with when you first come to this dungeon, but if you have something with blunt or just a garm, something like trust is pretty good against it. You can deal with those Sudamas pretty quickly before they attack you. Always be wary because demons might aggro on you. As long as you keep your defenses up, it shouldn't be an issue. Demons in here also can drop DCMs, and they can also be contracted. Another thing you can also do with your demon is press tab, and you'll be able to control your demon. And you'll be able to cast its skills manually. For example, with the support skill, you'll need to do this to have it target you. And the reason I'm doing this is because the support skill will actually be useful. These are the doors you can open with the glittering ores. If you look closely, it says how many you need. But for now, we won't bother about it. You can see when I shot that mob, the difference of damage is pretty big. Now that I have the buffs. Always be careful for ambushes. Sudamas can be annoying because they literally self-destruct with a rush attack, and that rush attack will deal a lot of damage. Be wary that your demon can be attacked as well. Just keep going. This room in particular is special for a reason, because it can either spawn a bunch of slimes or spawn literally every mob in the dungeon. Actually wants the other one to spawn. When you're new into this game, you actually want to collect everything, because everything will be useful one way or another. So be sure to have inventory space. Learn Poison Bite, you can teach it. It's basically a stronger version of Bite. Something you can also do inside the dungeon is buy items from the Yagya. For example, this Yagya would have the Earth is DCM. You'll be able to use on him right away. And sometimes you'll get rooms like these ones, which you have several paths. On your first run, you actually want to explore every path, because it will get you the most glittering yards. Also be wary of your buffs, because they only last 10 minutes. Remember to dodge if you can. Know that your demons can also help you in times of need. Actually want to go back. So what I like to do here is basically backtracking. When you reach the end of the dungeon, you look at the number of glittering ores you have, and you go to each one of these doors and see how much they take. And on the first run, you actually want to have one leftover glittering ore. So we had 9, we used 3 for this one. And behind each one of these doors, there are reward chests that drop these gems and drop chips. See another one here. This one requires only one, so let's use it. More cracked gems. And what you actually do with these cracked gems is that you can item mix them with magnetite to produce the actual gem. The actual gem you can either sell or just keep in your material tank. Reorganize your inventory any way you want. We're actually being a bit unlucky with the soul shards. Alright. You see you have 2 glittering ores left, but at this point you actually want to keep them with you. And you'll see why after the dungeon is over. Now what you want to do is just get to the next floor. As you can hear, the music changed. which means we are already at the boss 4, which is just behind that door. You might think this boss is really intimidating because it's a really big arm. But the thing is, if you have the demon fusion with you, you can just fuse with your wounded Cerberus. And I actually missed the target. Shit. No. But yeah, you can do that to the boss. And he'll basically one-shot it. Fortunately, it's also weak to gun. But you actually get to see both battles. And while at it, Brave Garm also learned Fire Breath. Now you just have to kill the cave seats in the room. See, they also give a bunch of levels. Forget to pick up the loot. Don't forget to reapply your buffs whenever you need them. Always be wary of the enemy though. Let's see. Garm also learned an healing spell, which is going to be good. As soon as you kill it, you finish the dungeon. Another thing of note is when you finish the dungeon, you'll get these golden lights right here. This will give you an item that will be really useful in the future, which are called apples. You really want to collect these and save them in your tank, at least for now. And another thing you'll get is the end of the dungeon rewards, which you can just collect. This will all be useful in the future. And something that's actually specific to this server is that you usually would only get 30 reports for the dungeon itself. In this case, since it's Thursday for me and Friday for the server, what happens is that we actually get an increased amount of reports for this specific dungeon. And it's a different dungeon every day, so make use of it. What are these reports for? We'll see in just a second. Let's leave the dungeon. Keep your glittering ores. And what you can actually do now is item mix the gems you had. Mix them with magnetite. That's pretty much it. You can save them. So in the meanwhile, you notice that you've been receiving these boxes called Ace in a Box, Jack in a Box, and you've also receiving these cards called Queen cards, Ace cards. When you have two of the matching type, for example, a Queen card and a Queen in the Box, you can item mix them, which is the case for these Ace cards and this ace in a box. Let's mix them, get an item, and this item has a chance to reward really good items. For example, what I got now is an instance of protection, and it actually halves the amount of damage I receive for 30 minutes, which is really useful. It's something to keep in mind. While I was there, something of note as well was that my expertise in shot raised to rank to class 1, which means I can already get more speed, and I can get this skill, which is basically a toggle. I'm going to place it right here. That, as the name states, you increase critical strikes, but the MP regeneration and the close range attack is decreased. But it will end up being useful because the crits are worthwhile. So while we're at it, we won't need these bullets since they only stack to 100 to 1500, so you can just toss them away. You also don't need the DCMs, but you'll need them in the future if you want to record any of the demons. And I think that's all for now. Okay, what's that? You actually want to return to home tree, but not before you deliver one set of quests just outside of this dungeon. As you can see, we have Inunting Kate sets. We have hunted the Giant Garm, the Beast Nekomata, the Earth Element Sudama. We didn't get any angels, unfortunately. We basically got those three. So let's talk about work. Report Demonant, report the Giant Beast Garm. Bunch of XP. Talk about work, report the Demonant, Beast Nekomata. Talk about work, report Demonant, Earth Element Sudama. That should be all for here. Got more points, which means more speed. And while we were doing that, we also got complete 2 more missions, Demon and Nekomata, so we're just going to return to the base. Rest of stone. Talk about work, report about the requests. The end will be finished. And what you'll actually want to do right next is talk with the girl in the middle and ask for the collection quest. The thing you'll need to collect is a glittering ore, which you already have, so you can just give it to her. Word about the request. And then ask about G1 trial. Is this something for later? But we accepted it already. While at that, you also want to go to Akamada again and talk with him and ask about using guns. He'll teach you about rapids. That won't be important for our build. With this you complete another quest, and now you can actually ask about work. You can ask about delivering goods. Another quest. You can ask about demon hunt. I'll get you to hunt 3 demons. Some of them actually overlap. For now, you can keep these demons. Outside of your inventory. You'll pretty much only have those 3. Another thing we can actually do here right now is talk with this monkey called Tot, Demon God Tot. So what does it do exactly? So as you noticed, we have gotten these Yagi reports, and what they serve for is 2 things. The first one, as a beginner, which you should do, is that these Yagi reports can increase your expertise by ranks or classes. You trade 1 Yagi report for 1 rank, and 10 Yagi reports for a full class, which is really good. Another thing we can do with them is actually trade them for CP, but that's a mechanic we'll see later. So, to trade them for expertise, you just go to your expertise screen, you unlock the expertises you actually want to raise. In this case, I'm going to increase attack, shot, and destruction magic for a specific objective. Reports for attack, increase 1 class. And as you can see, it increased the full class. I'm going to get these expertises. I'm going to get these expertises to class 2. Which are attack and destruction. So as you can see, they are at class 2. We are not going to learn anything because we won't need it. And shot, we are actually going to increase to 5. So one more. And there we go. So you actually want to lock attack and destruction magic. And you want to learn the skills in shot, basically. Basically more speed, more long range. And this skill in particular will give you access to a long range shot. Now this skill will be really good because it will really increase your damage to a whole nother level. Just drag everything in your bar and place it wherever you want to place it. Everything else you can pretty much just sell. For example, the Unknown Sword will give you 15k Maka. If you think you won't need healing items, you can also sell them, but they are usually useful. Because I'm going to sell the wrinkled t-shirt as well. Machete, sell the glittering horror as well. It'll be hit. And you can see you can still have this item called Oops of Little Griff. This item you can actually exchange for more Yagi reports at any Yagi. Either outside of dungeons or right over here at the Cathedral of Shadows. Select exchange for reports. Find the respective oof. And you'll have the Yagi's reports. Nakamada also gave me a sweeper, which will be useful, because it has a different affinity from the shotgun. Pretty much save your entire inventory again. If you have items in your inventory and press collate, they'll stack together. Example. And we'll keep these items with us for now. So continuing quests. Resume what Kamada gave you. To the pharmacy. And take it all back to Akamat. Delivering goods. More XP. And Makka. Ask about work again. You unlocked. Asking about Demon Gathering. You see you have to get an experience Jack Frost, which you already have here. Or should have, because you've done the quest for the Pixie. Summon it. Ask about work. Ask about Demon Hunt. Not Demon Hunt. Ask about Demon Gathering. And then it over. And the next one you'll want is a cave sit. Actually, another thing of note in this skin is that players can sell their own items. And yourself can set up your own shop. And each of these demons right here is a shop you can check. And it will sell several items at the player designated prices. I usually don't recommend these shops to beginners, but you can pretty much preview items here. And from time to time you might get a really good deal. But be aware that it might be a bit rare and might need a bit help to decide what's a good price or not. Looking for a place to set up my shop, and it's actually full today. But yeah, you get the gist of it. This guy even says he has cheap items for newbies, but be wary that he might these people might trick you as well. And as a closing note, we'll just deliver the quests we have left. The Cave Sit and the Kusif. Since we're here, we can also talk to Friendly Demon Buster. Ask about something else. Ask about skills. The reason you actually increase those to class 2, so you can have these quests complete as well. About skills. You might thinking it might be a waste of resources, but it can actually, you'll give you an item that lets you reset the expertise again. So don't worry about it. Just accept all 3 categories. And complete all 3 categories. There you go. If you receive 6 Leffy bottles, it means you're doing a good job. So while we go to home tree, and to show you how it works, just click it, press the expertise you want to lower, and it will be done in an instant. Destruction magic as well. This one actually you want to keep. Let's skip this one for now. It's also good to keep yourself reminded that there's a limit to expertise, which will be increased later, but for now you'll have to work with what you have. If you wanted to also contract an inexperienced tortoise, might be useful in the future. And you might be asking, why do you complete so many quests? The reason is, if you go here to view quest bonuses, you can actually see the number of quests you have completed and the amount of stats it gives. It actually gives a title to go with it. That's a bit irrelevant since you won't be able to read it. Only Japanese players will be able to read it for now. As you can see, as I have 40 quests completed, it will give me more HP, more strength magic speeds, more summoning speed, and more critical defense, which is already pretty good. And as you complete all these side quests, you'll also get levels. There you go, another level. And with these levels and resources, you'll become a great demon buster in no time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.